letting Lamar ride out the rest of the year, we could be in the same situation, but I don't think you're picking up a Cooper Weiss. I don't think you're making the moves that we're talking about. We don't think we get in the players that are talking, hey, I might want to come to Gary, not because of Lamar, but because of Jeff. So
He gets it
those are
high in the air. Left field. This one's got a chance. And let's go on a cowhide. Joyride. Sound the horn. The Railcats clear the yard.
Hello, RailCats fans, and welcome back to RailCats Talk Podcast. He's Chuck Polarek. I'm Kyle Svetich. And Chuck, it's been over a solid month since I was able to sniff in the beautiful air of Gary and sit down and watch a RailCats game. And the first time was with my 2-week-old son.
Yep.
It was a absolutely gorgeous day to go to the ballpark. It wasn't hot, it was just right, and the RailCats won. And then I got to kind of skate myself across the outfield with the newborn in my hand, which was probably the greatest experience that I've had there so far. There's a lot of memories that I have going to games and so, but that was probably
So you did get to go across the
I
outfield?
did. I
I,
have I
I'm
have the
glad you did it.
videos. I have the videos up on Twitter and Facebook. So
Nice.
I have those up, and yeah, I was able to go across, and it wasn't a big deal. It
Did
was,
you push the stroller or did
I
you?
know I didn't push the stroller. So we were joking about Noah not letting a stroller on the field, and
Right.
me breaking in. And so when you went to go to your seats, I ran into him because we were getting something to eat, and I was talking to him about it. I said, "Hey, is it all right if I take the stroller across the outfield and like put the brakes on and like go skirting across?" He goes, "You know what? You do whatever you want. That's fine." And I was like, "That's odd." He goes, and I go, "I remember his baby is getting ready to is coming around right around the corner. I think he said like September 17th, I think, around that time." So he goes, if I wasn't having the baby on the way, I might have a different perspective, but now I have a baby, so I have a different perspective. So if you want to, take the stroller out there, you go right ahead. But I didn't. I had him in my arms. I almost missed it because he decided that he was going to get hungry. So he was with my wife at that moment. But no, we were able to sit down and we were able to go. So and then I was talking to Noah also. He We'll talk about this off air to get this all together, but he said he's wanting to come back onto the podcast or come onto the podcast. Long overdue, but we should be getting him and his assistant on. So but that's
Good.
beside the point. But yeah, it was a great day, great win. Um, but it kind of sums up the series against Milwaukee. You score first, the first handful of innings, except I think in game two, I forget which game it was. I think it might have been game two, where they scored in the sixth. But other than that, it's like all the offense is like the first third of the game, and then they don't score anymore. So you're looking at the nine run lead in the first two innings, and then yeah, you win the game. Good for them. But Chuck, we said it last week. I tweeted it before the the game, and I said, or before the series started, and I said, if we sweep them, we'll be half game away from Milwaukee, and that would put us with Cleveland keep falling and falling and falling. It would put us closer to making the playoffs. Well, now we're 6 games back with 7 games to go in the playoffs, so I don't think that's gonna happen.
You're such a negative Nelly.
Yes,
Uh,
I'm the negative
no,
Nelly one. Yes.
I was really excited because Greta, the fan from Fargo,
Hmm.
loves coming to Gary. Her grandma loves coming to Gary. They came out to watch Fargo play Chicago. Um, what was it on Friday? Then they came to Gary yesterday. Thought they were going to wind up going back to Gary on today or going back to
Chicago.
Chicago today, but decided to come on out to Gary again. So I always love seeing Greta and her family. And that right there made my weekend. So I was excited, even though 2 out of 3 were losses. And I mean, both first game and the second game, I thought, okay. And then all of a sudden, didn't happen. But yeah, so that's the way that the season went, right? I'm talking like the season's over with because it pretty much is.
It pretty much, I mean, really, we're just scraping to scrape by Lincoln and not be the worst team in the league for the like third straight year in a row. So, um, we're going that way. But a couple, I the series went the series way. We're not going to make the playoffs. It is what it is. But
Oh, but big news,
there is big news.
crazy news, right?
And Chuck, you got a little bit of the limelight, a little bit bigger into kind of things that going on. I think, but the big thing is when you texted me, you said that we're getting Hunter Clendenning and JR is going to uh, Fargo. I thought you meant Junior, who's I believe he's with you right now, or
Right.
she, yeah. So I thought you meant him. I'm like, oh, okay. And then when I went to the transactions page, I saw it was Jerry's Richards. I went, oh, this is one of two things. This is, and then the player to be named later. Okay, Fargo wants another outfielder. They're making a push, so we'll trade him there, and maybe he'll come back in return. You get a little bit more information on your end. I'll let you tell that side of it.
Well, we're not going to break that
Okay.
because that's not information
Well,
that
we're not. Okay, okay, fine. I'll candy coat it for you. Okay, I'll candy coat it for you. We heard the reason why Richards went that way was because of his work ethic. And that can tend to happen towards the end of the season when the team isn't doing very well. Sounds like Hunter Clendenning is supposed to be coming back to us, but it doesn't sound like that's going to be the
well,
case.
here's the thing. Uh, his name's Hunter Clannon, not Clendenning.
I'm okay. Here's the issue. Here's the issue. I was just watching the Cleburne and Kansas City, and then Clendenning, Hunter Clendenning.
Right?
It's all up in
It's
my
all
head now.
playing together, right?
Yes.
So here's the thing. Jarius in the first game, he tweaked his ankle pretty bad.
Hmm.
They it's a sprain. He then apparently found himself in a wheelchair for 2 days. Didn't go to the games while we were in Fargo. He apparently did have a meeting with the manager there who wanted to find out how bad the sprain was and what have you. Also said that they were interested in him playing there next year. Um, the key here is that it doesn't look like he's going to be able to play any more games
Okay.
until playoffs.
Okay.
So he's in a boot right now. He was at the game today, our game today, saying bye to everybody. I got a chance to say bye to him, ask him, how he was feeling. He said he's hoping he'll be able to play in the playoffs. But he was headed out to go catch the team in Chicago. So we got Hunter Clannon, but the thing with him is that his he actually lives in Sioux Falls, I guess.
Okay.
He lives in Fargo. It's one or the other. When Sioux Falls let him go, he was going to retire. Fargo made him an offer. He said, "Well, it's not that far, so I'll play for Fargo." When Fargo decided to trade him, he's retired.
Okay.
So he's not coming to Gary. He's not returning phone calls, I guess. He's just not interested. He's this chapter's over with. So we did not get technically anybody. I thought there was a possibility because Jarius is a great player, and I
Hmm.
think he's the type of guy that you would want to building a team around. And I feel like, wow, I can't believe we got rid of him. Um, it is believed that we are going to get a different player from Fargo at the end of the season, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
So, we there was a uh, there were talks before, at the end of the season, we we can't we can tie up some names. We can put some names down that are on our team to say, hey, we're going to claim these guys for next season, but that only works within our league.
Hmm.
If guys are going to play in the Atlantic League, or if they go to the Frontier League or the Pioneer League, us having them down on paper makes no difference. And there are a handful of guys that we have that their next step is, hey, Gary, thanks for having us, but we're going to try to go to the Atlantic League. And I believe that Jarius is one of those guys. So get rid of him now since he's not going to be able to play anyways. Um, give him a chance to play in some playoffs. Let Fargo try to bring him back, and see what happens. But hey, love the guy. I think he's a great guy to talk to. Loved watching him play. Grateful for the time that he had with us, and you never know what'll happen down the road.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a reversal of, we're looking, I'm not saying it's a possibility, it could be a possibility, but if he goes to Fargo and next year Fargo might be at the bottom of the barrel and us fighting for something, maybe bring him back, whatever the case may be. We did pick up Cooper Weiss, from Cleburne. He was put on waivers. We also have Steven
Cooper
Ribas.
Weiss.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Cooper
Oh,
Weiss.
oh,
First at
yeah,
bat at,
home run, I know,
as a Railcat,
as a real cat.
smacked out of there like a no question home run,
Well,
right?
and here's the thing. The said guy that we think it is for the player in return coming back, right? At one point, this guy was on waivers. He was being
Right,
released, and we didn't take that guy in.
right,
And it wasn't because Jeff Isom was the manager. We had
right.
the previous manager. Now, this is this is the kinds of things that I said, oh, we picked up Cooper Weiss. I said, that's a familiar name that I know pretty well among this American Association. Then you have a Steven Rivas, who we also know very well.
Yep,
And they're coming from Cleburne. And what does Cleburne normally like to do, and why they're probably in a tailspin right now? They like to overload their rosters at the beginning half of the year, and they're starting to sell pieces off at the end. And this is exactly what's happening. So what is Jeff Isom doing? He's just picking up the scraps and saying, "Okay, you want to come back to the American Association next year? You got to get through us first."
yep.
I mean, that's just how it's all coming down. Is he's building that roster for next year, and you're already seeing it. And they're great moves. I think they're wonderful moves. That these are moves that I don't know we would have possibly seen.
I don't think so. I don't I think that the previous regime was very much um let me figure it out.
Mhm.
Obviously if these guys didn't work for you, they're not going to work for me. And let me find my own diamonds. And I say that, right? But we did pick up DeMarcus Evans,
Yeah,
and
I
he's pretty good, right? So, it's a we could guess, we could play
I
armchair quarterback, but here's the thing. I told Steven Rivas in the season against Cleburne, um, when I believe he hit two home runs against us right off the bat, something like that.
mhm.
And when I saw him, I said, dude, your hitting scares me. If you could just take it easy for the rest of the series, because your hitting scares me. And he did, for the most part, take it easy on us for the rest of the series. But that guy has, um, he has power, and he can make some contact. So I believe he's a 240 hitter right now. Um, hey, it would be great to have a guy like that on the team next year. Seeing uh, this new guy, Cooper Weiss,
Mhm.
and his hitting, it's been really exciting too. So, Cleburne's issue isn't hitting. Their issue is pitching. And, at the beginning of the season, you saw that they were just cutting pitchers left and right because they would give up runs instead of trying to figure out, hey, what's going on with this, right? What do we have to do to help you succeed? It was go succeed somewhere else. We need to figure out our own stuff.
Well, I
Um,
mean, but just speaking of a Cooper Weiss, I mean, when they cut him, he was batting at 247, I believe it was, which would have put him just above LG Castillo.
right.
So and now he's batting at 500. Now when you look at the point streak, it says he's 500 because he's so on and so forth. But I'm just saying, like, those are the type of people that you bring in that just kind of bolsters the lineup a little bit. Yeah, you got rid of Jarius Richards, who's at 247, but still, nonetheless, that might have been a replacement for Jared. He probably saw it coming down the line, maybe, possibly, and he said, "You know what? We got to pick someone up." And he just kind of fell into his lap and he picked him up. I, and things have seemed like they've worked out a little bit better now. Granted, um, with Clannon, it that sounds just like an unfortunate circumstance that maybe Isom wasn't fully aware of going on. Um, but it seems like when we make trades or we pick people off of waivers in the previous regime that people just didn't sign back with us, and then we just had to let them go somewhere else. It's good to see that like a Cooper Weiss, someone that you can insert into the lineup and be successful right off the bat, being able to come, and that's the little bit of changes. It
Yeah,
may not be major changes, but there's some changes. It's not
yeah.
like
You had with this series, you had Joe Swazi gone. So
mhm,
Swazi was actually at his brother's wedding. So this is something that had been planned. But at the same time, we were short. Apparently, on Friday's game, we only had one sub, and that was a catcher that was available. So, quickly getting a Cooper Weiss in there so that he can start playing the next game, trying to get a Steven Rivas or trying to get you another outfielder, something like that, to kind of help this lineup a little bit as far as subs go. Yeah, I get it. I think that's what the Hunter Clan thing was, is, try to get him in here so that he can cover the outfield for 2, 3 days or whatever until we can get that short up. But that, hey, it's I'm glad to see that some people want to show up here. There's been a lot of talks of uh people coming next year.
mhm.
So I'm shocked at some of the names that have been tossed out there. And not just next year. There is a talk of a big name that wants to play in Gary, but he wants to be in the Atlantic League next year if he can. And if he isn't, he'll be in Gary. And if he does make it to the Atlantic, the next year he'll be in Gary. And this is a guy who, um, I'm going to say in the past year, led the league in batting average.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I mean, it's there. It seems like it's coming together. But again, what do we you can put the greatest roster together all time on paper, and you turn out to have the worst season in franchise history. I,
true.
it can happen either way.
Hey,
Um,
Cleveland, great roster this year. Great roster this year. And look, they're tail spinning, right? Milwaukee had an okay roster and they're like still making a push, right? You have a guy like that this was the big joke all day yesterday and today. Eric Osberg, who gets traded. The American Association makes a big deal about it. I
mhm,
guess they posted it everywhere that here's this guy batting 300, this catcher batting 300 that gets traded for one player and three players to be named later plus cash, right?
mhm.
And what does he do? He goes to Fargo and he has been in the past there was some stat they said the past 44 at bats he has 2 hits. He has done nothing. In every game that he's been in, Fargo has lost.
Yeah, it kind of makes you think a little bit though on the Milwaukee side of things. It's like you're that close to making the playoffs, and obviously it's working out for you right now. But it's just interesting. Why make that move when you were kind of close to already making it? So like, did they see something? But again, you go to a different environment. It was probably a shell shock to him in the first place that he was going from Milwaukee to Fargo, which Fargo's in a playoff spot. So it's like maybe it gives you a little bit better motivation, but it's still an adjustment period. I think new team,
He
different
was
style.
in a hitting slump. He
Oh,
was in a
okay.
hitting slump at the end of his Milwaukee, and they had two really good catchers
Hmm.
that they wanted to start using more. So it wasn't a um, that bad of a trade-off for them. They looked at it as we're getting Alec Oland, we're getting cash, we're getting three players to be named later, and we're going to still find ourselves in the same spot.
I am to this day. I'm going to say it repeatedly. Out of Lamar's era, the one thing that I think is the biggest blemish on his record or his resume is getting rid of alcohol. I honestly think that is the biggest blemish that you could possibly have. I mean, I don't really think he was that big of a factor. I was able to watch some of the games in and out with the baby. It's kind of hard. Um, maybe not in this factor, but most of the time when he was playing with Fargo in the one series, he would come back to 10. It seemed like he just destroyed us every time he was playing, and he's a solid outfielder. So it's
Yeah,
just one of those issues of like you have a solid outfielder, he's local, and it's the guy that you can kind of rally it around a little bit. So it's just kind of always like, don't you
that
really
first
wish?
that first game, he roped a triple down the right field line and knocked in, I believe it was 3 runs.
Hmm.
They had the bases loaded with 1 out, I think, or maybe 2 outs, and he just roped it right down the line. Um, and got 3 of the 4 RBIs in one of the innings.
Let me tell you how big of an icon. He's not a big icon. How big of a personality he could be. So we're sitting there, and I didn't tell my wife that he's now with Milwaukee. So she's sitting next to me, and we finally sat down, and he runs out the outfield. She didn't really see the front of him. He just saw the back, and he's running out the outfield. And she goes, "Isn't that? No, it can't be." He goes, "Isn't that the guy that used to play for the RailCats but was in Fargo?" I said, "Alec Olid." But I'm just saying, like yes, my wife watches a lot of games with me, obviously, but it's still one of those that she's able to pick him out,
Right.
just knowing that, and that resonates with you. Hearing someone that's playing, that plays at Crown, that played at Crown Point with that just that kind of sticks. I think he played for Lake Central, but um, in the Crown Point area. My point. Besides the point.
I'm going to uh on from the outside of the forest, yes. I would agree with you that I think that is probably the worst move that he made through the whole tenure. I don't know. I mean, this is Alec Olin had started all 50, I believe, of the games we had at the time. And he didn't get traded. He got cut or released.
Yes.
So it's not like we got something in exchange for him. As far as I know, it was a surprise to him. It wasn't something that like he said, "Hey, get rid of me," like some of these other guys do. And he was bothered by it. And so that being said, yeah, I don't think there was anything outside of um, that would lead to it being justified or justifiable from an attitude perspective or anything like that. Alec Olin to me is one of the stand-up guys in the
Hmm.
league. So and everybody that I've seen or heard from loves him. So uh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what facilitated that other than maybe this is Lamar making a point that this is his team and not somebody else's.
I know at that
Make a point.
I know at that time, like Alec was the first domino to fall, and then Sheiks and Lingua, and they all started to go away as well. But it was just that was an odd thing that Olin. It wasn't like he was in a slump. It's not like he was a great center fielder. I know Mariaga was probably a little bit better than he was, but he was still a great outfielder. He was smart on the base path. He get you what you needed when you needed it. And it was just like, all right, we're gonna get rid of him. And it was just kind of like, we got rid of this guy because why? And it wasn't like the team was doing really well.
Right. No, we at that time, you know, we didn't get rid of Sheiks and Lingua till the end of the
Yeah.
second. But this is in the first year. We got rid of Olin. We also got rid of Javion Williams. He was our center fielder at the time. We got rid of him. We also got rid of Zach, uh, starts with an R. We got rid of a guy named Zach who was an outfielder at the time. We got rid of another guy that's actually playing in affiliate ball now. So we got rid of there was like a lot of turnover in that outfield that first year. Uh, and no idea why, because these were guys that, for the most part, I mean, I'd love to have Javion Williams on the team. He's the guy that goes out there and makes the ESPN plays. He's fast. You need a fast guy in that center field. Um, Boland was a
Mhm.
great right fielder. Uh, I mean, we were Zach Rasmussen, I think was his
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
But we had great potential in that outfield, and it just started disappearing. It was like, okay, we got rid of this guy for this, we got rid of this guy for that. And I remember LG came in at the end of
Mhm.
that season, right? And I believe he made an error or something like that. And I was just bad mouthing it. I'm like, why did we get rid of all of these guys for this, right? Now I'm glad that we did eventually, but I mean, Lamar's downfall was his "let me figure it out, don't help me" type of
I, yeah,
thing.
it was that. It was, and then it was like, all right, let's give this guy the longest leash that we possibly can and call it a day. Like,
Right.
there's a handful of times where it's just like, we have to do something different. It's like, no, let's just continue riding it and just like sideline like a horse with the blinders on. Just look straight forward.
Right.
Don't look at the explosions going on the side of you or behind you. Just keep going forward. You see the green grass that way. Um, but this does bring a point. So I don't know if you saw the tweet I quoted you in about Indie Ball
Yeah.
Report saying
Yeah.
that Joe Ing might be one of the best independent baseball
Owners.
owners right now. And I mean, Mississippi's like 3 games away, 3 games out of making the playoffs. Isom's kind of turned things around here. With his hires so far, I mean, it's kind of hard not to. I don't say he's the quote unquote best. I think it's hard to maybe making the right decision. It might be what you would classify that as, but I don't know the best. It's kind of hard to. Independent baseball is a little bit different when you say the best owner. I mean, he just kind of opens up the pocketbook. Gets you.
I am going to recuse myself from this part of the conversation. I love Joe. I think my interactions with Joe are awesome. Um, I uh, disagree with Joe on getting rid of Lamar when he did. Um, I don't. I disagree that Isom has turned things around. I think that the natural progression was that this is the way that this was going to turn out. Um, I mean, you could say Lamar shot the arrow in the air, and Isom was, we got rid of Lamar just as the arrow is going up in the air, and so you take, well, all of it going up in the air, that's all Isom. No, it's same players, not much has changed. Um, Same win one, lose two, win two, lose one, you know. So that being said, hey, uh, here's here's what here's what I can say about the ownership under Joe Ing. Um, we have lost 3 seasons under Joe, 4 seasons under Joe, if you want to count the first one when he came in partially, right? But we've lost 3 seasons under Joe. Things have gotten progressively worse. Um, you can chalk that up to management or whatever. Uh, but those are the stats, right? Um, but I'll say this, I don't equate wins and losses necessarily to ownership of the team. So,
Well, no, not I no, not necessarily. Here's a couple things though. The couple things on that aspect of it. When you look from the standpoint of the ownership prior to Joe, Lamar was not Joe's hire. That was previous ownership.
yep.
He gave him a leash that I think maybe a season and a half too long, but he gave him a decent leash to work with. No matter what happened at the end of this year, I don't think here's the firing Lamar when you did, I think in retrospect it was the right idea and the right timing because now Jeff can get his feet underneath him and he can start figuring things out a little bit earlier than maybe Lamar was given that opportunity when he first stepped into the league. But Jeff knows independent baseball. He's
Yep.
been around independent baseball. He's a proven
Oh,
winner at it.
I
And what letting Lamar ride out the rest of the year, we could be in the same situation, but I don't think you're picking up a Cooper Weiss. I don't think you're making the moves that we're talking about. We don't think we get in the players that are talking, hey, I might want to come to Gary, not because of Lamar, but because of Jeff. So
right.
those are talks in the way in that aspect. So I can't take that away from Joe. And then you look on the other side of the Mississippi side of it, you know, you bring in a Jay Pesci who is really the first time kind of managing independent baseball, but he's been around that kind of stuff, very familiar with it, and he's taking a expansion team and almost taking the playoffs. And when you look at that aspect of it, I can't necessarily when you look at the on-field product of it, it's seeming to work out better in that aspect of it. Now, the off the field stuff, how much did the Railcats get neglected? Probably more than they should have because he was probably bidding for Mississippi. I don't know when that all came about. I don't know when his mindset was, hey, I want to get another team. And I don't think if we asked him that question, he's going to play it very close to chest. He's not going to let us know what the answer to
Right.
that's going to be. So we don't know how that's going to. So are things here in Gary a tad bit different? And maybe he's so starstruck with Mississippi that he's letting things kind of go to the wayside here. It's a possibility. We saw it with the previous ownership, and that was a big thing that we were concerned about when it first happened. And he's telling us, rest assured, I'll make sure that that doesn't happen. And I'm not saying yes or no on that aspect. I guess I'm just looking at for the on the field portion of it. Most of the
Right.
time, when you're talking about this stuff, you're looking at the on field portion of it and not so much for what goes on behind the scenes. And we don't really get that glimpse just quite yet.
Yeah. I you know, yes, we look at the product on the field. I'm satisfied with the product that we have right now. I'm satisfied in the direction that it's going. I love these players. We've got 7 more games with these guys. Uh, talks of possibly bringing some people back, talks of possibly having some coaches back. Stuff like that I think is interesting. I love the fact that we might be bringing back some people in that. So I is Joe the worst ownership out there? No. Is he the perfect ownership out there? No. Is he doing a good job? Yeah. Am I glad that he owns the team? Yeah. So
I
that's
just,
that's that's
I
what
just, I just wanted to throw that out there and just
I
see
know you did. I know you
what
did.
your thought
I
process
saw I
was.
saw you were just pushing at me on that one. Um, here's some things that have bothered me this season. Okay. Um, we had talked about it before. Promotions.
I,
were-
wait, I don't want to get too crazy into that right now. We have a whole off season. And listen, all right,
No,
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 Chuck, listen.
no,
No,
no.
no, you listen here. All right, I gotta go back to work tomorrow.
I
All
know.
right, I got I don't wanna, we
No,
got plenty of time to
no,
decongest from the season
no.
and talk about you're getting ready for your what is it? It's gonna be 265 days of non-baseball talk of the off season, and we can fill that 265 days of
We
nothing
could
but
wait till last minute to bring up promotions, which it seems like that's what the RailCats did this time, right? So we could wait till the last minute to
you
bring up
see,
promotions.
you're not they gave us an explanation behind it, and you're not even satisfied with that.
No, I understand the explanation and I was satisfied with it. Okay.
And you're bringing it up, so no, you're not.
No, let me tell you why I'm no longer satisfied. Okay. When I see other teams all having Tons of jersey auctions. What? We could magically figure that out? When I see other teams doing bobbleheads, we couldn't have figured that out. When I see other teams doing awesome giveaways where it makes me sit there and say, okay, can I skip the RailCats today because I want to go to
Okay,
Chicago?
but Chuck, who are you comparing yourself to? Who are we? Who are these teams?
If you cannot step up
No, no,
and give the same type of promotions as the
Ch-
other teams
Chuck.
in your league, then you should step down and go to a different league.
That's not
We can
no,
be part of the
no.
Pecos League.
That,
We can be
that's
part of the Frontier League. We can be part of the collegiate, whatever it is, league.
Chuck. Chuck. What what other t if you throw out, I swear if you throw out King County and Chicago and maybe Kansas City, I might come through this computer and throat punch you.
Why?
They got way much more money than the Railcats do at this point.
If Joe has enough money to buy another team, he has enough to pitch in for some promotions.
Okay, maybe I'll give that one to you a little bit. I well, all this money is in the other team. I don't tell you.
There you go.
All right.
That's why I brought this up.
Okay. That you know what? Fine. I will concede to that one. But we still have a week left of football. We have 1 week left of Railcats baseball, unless some miracle happens and we make the playoffs. But we lose one game and we're basically done for. And I think if Cleveland wins tonight, it's basically done for as well for our hopes. Um, I don't do quick math, so I can't help on that one.
I would hate to be a Cleveland fan.
That is rough.
I'll tell you what. I was sitting there saying this the other day. If you're a Lake Country fan right now, I
I'd be
feel so.
livid. I'd be livid.
If you are a Chicago fan right now, I would be kind of bothered too.
Listen, so
Get rid of Brantley Bell for what? Right? Because he made a comment about something?
is that why?
That's what I hear. He made a comment about in the middle of his at bat, he was fouling off balls and they
Oh,
stopped the game
yes, it was for the
for fire.
fireworks. Yes.
And he's like, seriously, you had to stop the freaking game for fireworks while I'm in the middle of it in a bat, and they traded him.
I forgot about that. But yes, again, that's the dog's ownership for you. I think we are all aware of that situation. And the thing is, if you were told me this like I don't know, last year, year before, I would probably like that's probably just a coincidence. I now after everything that comes out, I mean, it's just more than just that. Multiple people, multiple sources that keep saying that it's believable, and it just kind of like a crack in the road. Just kind of go over it. I don't. I don't.
So, like I was saying, if you're a Lake Country fan, I'd be bothered.
Well, so
You're-
Lake Country clinched the playoffs
yep,
August 14th.
yep,
They have not won a game since
yep.
August. It is it's 10 days later. They have not won a game yet.
If you are a Chicago fan, I would be bothered. If you are a Cleburne fan, I would be angry. Um, if you are a Milwaukee fan, I would be very excited right now
Yeah.
because Milwaukee seems to be making the moves that are making the moves, right? In the right direction. And if you're a Gary fan, uh, there's a good chance you're also a Cubs fan and you have that there's always next year mentality.
Yeah. So for what it's worth right now, we know the West is set. You have Sioux City, Kansas City, Sioux Falls, and Fargo. Depending on what order they fall in, we're not sure. But right now in the East, Lake Country is number one right now, just like above a game, above the Dogs who also clinched, who they're going in a 3 game series with. So that's more than likely going to set who's going to be the top in the division. King County, Cleburne, Milwaukee, and the Railcats are all viable for a playoff spot. But like I said, we're 6 games out of it, and I'm not sure what Cleburne's doing right now. No, they're still losing 8-4, so it might still
Kane
be a
County,
chance.
Kane County should have one clinched in the next 3 days.
Yeah, Kane County.
Uh,
It's gonna be hard, very
by
hard for them to
Wednesday,
fall off.
yeah, by Wednesday, Thursday, they should have it clinched. They play us, right? We play
Yeah,
theirs, so we'll see how that works.
but nonetheless, Lake Country's on a 9-game losing streak right now. That is just, I would be livid.
Yeah,
You're just like that's the point where you're just falling off, like you're cooling off at the wrong time, and it's just that's not the time that you want to be doing that.
no.
Um,
I honestly think um so if Lake Country gets in, I think Lake Country is going to pick Milwaukee. Let's assume that Milwaukee, not if Lake Country gets in, if Lake Country wins
yes,
the division and Milwaukee makes it in, they're going to pick Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee takes them out.
Uh,
Uh,
but that but on my mindset would be if my team is falling off the wayside, why would I pick a team that's coming in hot?
true, true. But here's the other part of that. You're either going to face Kansas City, sorry, not Kansas City, Kane County, or you're going to face Chicago. And Chicago is tough. I don't think you're going to be able to beat them. And Kane County is also on the hotter side of things, being that they have gone from being in fifth place to being in third
Hmm.
place in a relative short period of time. So, uh,
It's a tricky situation, anyways.
yeah, I think you do Milwaukee because it's not that far of a trip. And you let the other two guys kind of swing it out,
But
which I'll be very
but I
fun.
mean, even at that, I who knows? Lake Country, if they end up number one, they might pick one of those two teams anyways. Because if Cleburne stays in, do you really want to make the travel all the way down to Cleburne?
Exactly. But
So
here's the other part of that, though, is that if you make the trip down to Cleburne, guess what? There's a good chance you're going to wind up winning that series.
yeah, who knows?
I think
Um,
you take the win on that one.
yeah, but it's one of those like, okay, you go down there for an easy win, quote unquote easy win. You're still gonna have to go through Chicago or King County anyways, so might as well,
Yeah.
unless you just want the extra revenue.
How much of this is them resting up their pitchers and how much of this is them actually losing games? I don't know the answer
Yeah,
to that.
but 1-9 is that's
I
just
really don't care to know the answer to that either.
yeah, well, it's not that we have much to look forward to anyways. Um, but yeah, okay, it is what it is. Chuck, you got a final out for this week?
That's it.
That's it.
Come on. I do want to say thank you to the milkman that gave me Logan's first baseball that I was able to carry over to him today. Um, I'm glad that I got to see the little guy's first baseball game. That was great. I actually thought you were going to be there Friday, and I was disappointed that you weren't. And I didn't want to say anything because I was like, okay, baseball really isn't the important thing right now. But seeing you guys there today was really exciting. So
Yeah, Thursday night was a little rough with him. So when 4 o'clock rolled around on Friday, my wife was already passed out on the couch, and she woke up and she goes, "Do you want to go to the game?" I'm like, "You're too tired. I'm not gonna drag you all the way to the game." And we probably wouldn't have stayed for the entire time. So I'm glad we were able to go at least on today. So that way, we would sit through the whole
it was a
game.
nice day too.
It was a
So
wonderful day.
mm, yeah, wonderful day at the ballpark. Uh, boy, this is the hard part for me. So in a week from now, we will have one game left. Um, we will have already had our host family night, which I think is probably going to be on Saturday. Um, we will be getting ready to say goodbye to the guys. We have a really good group of guys this year. Um, and it really didn't hit me until I was talking to Mason Davis, the first base coach for Milwaukee, and I'm like, hey, you coming back next year? And he goes, I don't think so. I don't know, but I don't think so. and it kind of you realize I'm not going to get to see these guys anymore, you know. So, uh, and I told Natasha, I said, you know, Mason's, I really enjoy seeing Mason because I could sit there and talk to him
Hmm.
all game and you know laugh and joke and make nonsense things like we were doing about you know we had Greta there and she's mad that they got Osberg with Fargo and he isn't producing and so she was trying to trade him back, telling Mason, I will give you you know some nachos in exchange if you take Osberg back, and those kind of comments. And so, you know, and he's laughing and all that. So, you know, hey, these are great guys to be around, uh, and we're gonna miss them. So,
Yep.
yep.
Well, my final out is the hospitality portion behind the RailCats in general is, bringing the baby, and obviously building a platform of talking about it. You gain some fandom, from team or from fans of the RailCats that you're able to see and they know who you are. They say hi to you and like just the hospitality of just not the RailCats, but the people that follow the podcast and follow everything else that we do here. And being able to say congratulations and saying hi and making time out of their day, out of the time that they're spending with their family and friends and watching the game and spending some time with my family, just talking about the baby and whatnot. And then just, walking the concourse. Brandon said hi to me. Noah said hi to me. Doing the kids run. Anthony stopped for a second. And he said, "Congratulations!" Just like that. Those kinds of things that um, I don't think you get anywhere else. So it's just one more positive thing to put in the column of this season is that family hospitality is still there. Um, Even if you do talk nonsense out of your butt and may talk crap about the team sometimes, but that happens.
You talk nonsense, or I talk nonsense. I
We
thought I
both
was
talk nonsense. I don't know what you're talking
you
about.
talk all the nonsense all the time.
This is the nonsense show. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, mm.
Um, but we will wrap up the final seven games, three games against King County at King County, and then Lincoln comes to town for four games to wrap up the season on Labor Day, will be a 1 o'clock game on that Monday.
You
So,
making it to any more games?
depending on what my work schedule looks like, if it's a decent work schedule, hopefully Saturday, Sunday, maybe a Friday, I don't know, just depending on how it all transpires. It would be nice to be able to make it to out all four of them, but I know Monday I won't be able to make it no matter what because um I typically get to work on Monday mornings and I won't be able to get out of that one. So,
All right. Looks like you don't get any baseball cards, my friend.
nope, I will miss out on the baseball cards this year.
Oh, this was an interesting one before we go. Um, the baseball guys, the underground
Hmm.
guys, right? They ended up getting somehow a Baron Ratcliffe.
I saw
Oh,
that.
oh,
Yeah.
how did you see it?
It was on Baron Ratcliffe's Instagram. He tagged them
Okay,
in it, and it was with the his Phillies card and signed on.
right.
And
1 of 5.
wow,
He was like, I can't believe that it's my card. And I said, do you remember signing this? And he goes, yeah. I had to send 10,000. They paid me $1 a card, and I had to sign 10,000 cards. He said it took him 2 months to do it.
unreal.
10,000 cards.
Almost $10,000 for 10,000 cards, but
That's what I was thinking. It's like, well, 10 grand, I'd sit there and sign till my hand was all
you want
filthy.
more? I can keep doing this.
Right. And just 10,000 isn't enough. I'll give you another 20,000.
I signed 2,000, sign 1,000 a week, and that's basically my paycheck. And there you go. So,
I can think of worse things to have to do. But
uh,
still, it was really cool that they gave him the card, and it was 1 of 5. So that's a big deal. That
well,
was it. The end.
the end. All right. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, rest of your evening, whenever you're watching this, and go
Go
Cats.
Cats.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Wrap this one up in green and white.